Welcome back to the Nursing Edge podcast. I am Dr. Milady, here to discuss some of the things that hinder our ability to start things. So, I'm going to go through a list of things and we'll give you examples of some of the things that you have been able to accomplish and that will show you how resilient you are in this life that is extremely difficult for so many, but you've been able to overcome many challenges in order to get to where you are. Now, surviving the dreaded start. I think in any situation, in anything in life, getting started on a new journey, we talked about how it brings you so much anxiety, but in something such as your education, I think it's even more anxiety producing. And you very often think about, how am I going to survive this thing that I'm starting? You have many doubts. If you pay attention to the noise of other people, you will never start. People can be very helpful at times, but at the same time can be very, very negative. The naysayers, I call them. If you present information to them, sometimes they may be very encouraging. If you find the right person who is a positive voice in your life, always try to keep those voices near you. Those who are always pessimistic always want to say, well, why are you doing that for? Do you think you're smart enough? And others failed. There's always going to be that negativity. You kind of keep those people away. You don't tell them what you're doing because you already know what the answer is going to be. And when you get there, those are not going to be the people happy for you anyway. So you keep them out of your sight. So how do we get started again? Your brain has muscle memory. Your body has muscle memory in knowing that it got through very, very hard times in the past and it survived. So therefore, you will in turn survive the next difficult passage in your life. So I want you to think about you. Yes, I am talking to you. I want you to think about a time that you were in love with someone and it was a great relationship. But at the same time, things happen, life happens. Either the person had to move on or move away, or the relationship broke up. As difficult as that was, really as difficult as that was, even if it were that you were seeing this person for years, but the breakup happened and it took time, it took healing, it took God, it took a lot out of you. Some of us, we do some destructive behaviors, but at the same time, we got through, we survived. So again, your body and your mind, your heart has the ability to recover from such situations. Another situation, hurt. I can add that to it because with love also comes hurt. It doesn't have to be somebody you were in a relationship with. It could be a friendship, mourning a friendship. And you can mourn the friendship of somebody you loved, right? And for whatever reason, this person came into your life for a season. And in this season, they're meant to move on to something else. My mom said something to me the other day, and a friend of mine said something to me the other day. Sometimes there were people in your lives that God removed, and you were upset about it in that season, not understanding that God had greater things in store for you. Am I talking to somebody? Yes. That person was not meant to be in your life anymore, especially somebody who's hurting you repeatedly. And they may apologize, they may do all of that, but at the same time, it does not occur to them that this is putting a hole constantly in your soul. It is drying out your soul. And that is someone that in that season was in your life, but once God removes that person and you make the necessary steps to say, I'm done, you move on and you get to better ground. If you were able to get through that hurt, you can get through the dreaded start of something that you do not quite understand or something that you perceive to be difficult and put all your heart and soul into it. So I can think of, again, disappointment. We just talked about, things that the expectations that we may have of human beings. I am learning to have expectations of myself. And that's something I would also implore that you also apply in your lives. Have great expectations of yourself, but not of others. People will disappoint you. Family will disappoint you. Loved ones will disappoint you. In situations, even, certain parents will disappoint you. Guess who will never disappoint you? God will never disappoint you. So, do not put your trust in other people. In doing something like this, that is going to take mental, emotional, physical energy. Put your trust in the one that will never fail you. So, other things that you've gone through. Financial hardship. There are those who have lost their homes. I remember during Hurricane Harvey here in Houston in 2017, I will never forget that day when you were just watching your world change in a matter of minutes. And many of you who have been through either natural disasters, man-made disasters, fires, whatever it may be, there's this feeling of unbelief that, are you serious right now? Are we here right now? But you pick up, after all is said and over with, you pick up the pieces and you just somehow figure out how to rebuild. Some people are still rebuilding, especially the fires in California that happened not too long ago. Things were decimated. Floods that have taken place. I mean, winter storms, whatever it may be, somehow you find the zeal. You pull it out of somewhere to get through that situation, that moment. One step after another, you overcome. So this is not any different. A nursing education is not any different than the situations that have given you a gut punch in your life, and somehow you got up and got back on a bike and got back to riding. So, abuse. Many, many people have dealt with verbal, emotional, and physical abuse, and even neglect as an abuse. Many get up every day with a plan to get out of that. And many, we pray, those who are not out, I pray that they are working to find a safe plan for themselves. But those who have gotten out can tell you their stories. I know a young lady. Every time I come up with these things, these are situations that I've heard from many different people. Of course, due to HIPAA regulations, I would never throw out anybody's name out here. But these are situations that I know I've heard so many of your stories. And I've heard stories of difficulties, stories of triumph, stories of overcoming the worst odds. But you did it. You did it. You got through. The child that was sick, back and forth to a hospital. You practically lived at the hospital. The parent that was terminally ill. The husband that suddenly dropped dead. The spouse, the wife that suddenly dropped dead. these things came out of nowhere. The sudden illness that took your job and his job all together. And you have kids, you have responsibilities, you have a mortgage, you have a rent to pay, you have various things that people depend on you. You may be the only breadwinner. You may have family members that depend on you, whether you are here or elsewhere, that you're the one who they come to. That's another thing. When you are the person that everyone comes to, you're the superwoman, you're the superman. You're not expected to be flawed. You're not expected not to have. You're not expected to be going through difficult times, because you are the fountain that others come to help rejuvenate themselves. Well, though you shouldn't be. That's a whole nother podcast. Let that be God, not you. But you know what I'm talking about. When we are that person to somebody else and many other people, we find ourselves drained, nothing else to give, because we've given and put everything out on the table, and there's nothing left for us. You have learned that self-preservation, that's the word. You have learned self-preservation. You have learned to say no. You have learned to keep your peace. You have learned that your peace is more important than anything outside of God, right? Your peace is probably the most important thing to you, and it is worth fighting for, and it is worth preserving. So you have had the muscle memory for all these things. So starting something new is only another rung on the ladder. It's only another step on the staircase. It is not the hill. It is not the mountain, right? And it is not the sea to swim. It is another step. You take one step after another. You get started. You figure out where to get started. And you just do. So I urge you, in thinking about your next step, to start this nursing career that you might have never thought about, that I hope my story has inspired you to at least start to think about it. And if it's not you, it may be for someone around you. It may be for a nephew, a niece. It may be for your daughter or son. It may be for the person in your life that you've heard from them that, it's something I always wanted to do. I've been in another career. I am not happy with what's going on. I'm not happy with the trajectory of my life. I'm not happy with that I did not complete my education, that I dropped out of high school, or that I've been in this field. I don't find it rewarding, but I hear so much about this, and I see so many people, no matter how tired they are, they come back and say, today was a good day. Even if somebody cussed them out. Yes, people, it does happen. But you look beyond the person who is shouting those words at you, and you say, and I've had many instances where I say, I know there may be more going on in your life. I don't know what those are, but I know you know them. And I'm sorry if anybody has hurt you, or anyone has not done what you expected them to do for you, but I'm here now. I'd like to start all over again. How may I help you? I have had many instances where I have diffused people that were extremely angry and in my face sometimes. Yes, y'all. Yes. The reason why I say one has to have good customer service skills to do this, to be in nursing, to see people at their worst at times. They're hurting. The system has not been very responsive to them. They are angry. They have been waiting a long time. Nobody's gotten back to them. The results have not come in, whatever it may be. You're dealing with the public, and the public in every aspect. So it does take a lot of patience. It takes the patience of God sometimes. I'd say, what would Jesus do? I say that a lot. And then you come home and you say, all right, God, thank you. Thank you for giving me the energy, the zeal, the compassion to deal with those sometimes who are a little harder to love in our eyes, but the compassion to deal with them and see them in a different light. And knowing that, some days we're also that angry person in various situations. So we try to have more patience and understanding with someone who may not be feeling their best today. So getting back to the resilience and surviving the dread of getting started, I urge you to hear my voice, to hear my story, to hear my enthusiasm about this field, how much I have learned from it, how much I love it, how much I look back and I say, man, I was born to be a nurse. I'm born in May, right around Mother's Day, born on Nurses Week. And it's just been an amazing journey. I would not change anything. I would not change how I got started. My humble beginnings, my starting in the record room at Norwalk Medical Group. My mentors, y'all know who she is. And I had many there actually. But my primary mentor, I will remember her for life, Sue. Every time I think of her, I get a bit emotional because she was just the mama at work. You know what I mean? The person who would tell me things straight, very direct. The kind of mama who just helped me with getting started. The checking account that I didn't even know how to set up, and to build my credit. Told me about the version of ease a little bit more than growing up in those days. Parents told you some, but it always takes the village to actually give you the rest. Things that you may not be able to feel comfortable enough to bring to your older parents, but you need somebody who can guide you in those areas. But I'm chasing a rabbit right now, but I'm just having a little moment and thinking about my amazing mentor, Sue. So I say this to say that be encouraged today. Do not waste time. Like I said, the most expensive currency is time. Love is also expensive. It's not money. The most expensive currency to me is time. It goes by very quickly. I've been pondering about podcast. I've been talking about it. And I said, Milady, okay, how long is it going to take you to just get this thing started? I've been reading and doing my prepping. And let me just bring this back. As I said, reading. Research is important, y'all. I would be remiss to not bring that up. That doing your research and making sure that you know what you're getting into is extremely important in having a long-lasting career in nursing and in anything. Research it, do your homework, feel comfortable about it, and most of all, pray about it. God will guide you in the right direction. I'm Dr. Milady. It's been amazing speaking with you today. I pray that you are blessed in your journey, no matter what you decide to do. But what you decide to do, as nursing has been a calling for me, I pray that it is also a calling for you. And you have a long career in nursing. Please look to the left or to your right. I never know which way is coming for the next video. And I look forward to talking with you in the next podcast. Bye.